students. I wanted to make this video to just welcome you to English 125 and just kind of say hi and welcome to the class and go over the syllabus. So my name is Kelly Ryan and I'm your instructor. And I've been teaching at Napa Valley College since 2014. I've been teaching at the college level English since 2006. And I went to Solano Community College, so I have my AA from there, my BA and MA from Sonoma State. And I really love teaching English, so I'm really excited to be here with you in this semester, in this format. So I'm going to go over the syllabus so you have it in Canvas so you can look at it in that format, and I just thought it would help to just kind of go over it, and that might help to clarify anything rather than just having to read through it on your own. So again, English 125, and so I have my contact information. There's the Napa Valley email, and there's also my AT&T email. So either of those, totally fine. Of course, there's Canvas messaging, and I have my phone number up here. This is my cell phone, and that is actually my preferred method. It's the fastest way to get a hold of me is actually a text. I'm really pretty good with a text. But the other methods are just fine as well. And so that one I'm just sometimes able to be a little faster with that. So I try to always get back to you in, a timely manner. There may be some times that I'm not available. I have other classes and I teach at another school also. I'm also working in the Writing Center, Napa Valley College this semester, which is now all online. So love to see you guys there too. So, and there are times I just have to be, in meetings or, other responsibilities. So, but I really love hearing from students. I really enjoy talking to you. Let's see, I'm not normally available on Sundays or like after like 9 p.m. It's like, kind of normal business hours-ish, but I do my best to get back to you, like I said, in a timely manner. And then also I have office hours this semester are Mondays and Thursdays from 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., right after 12:30, that's right after noon, not midnight. So during that time, what you would do is it's on the phone. So you would just send me a text or call me and I will pick up the phone or text you back. If I am talking to another student, I will get to you just as soon as I possibly can. But that's been really fun for me doing that. Like I said, I really love talking to students, and that's been a real positive. It's nice to, hear a voice, even text, that's fine. But if those times don't work for you, but you would like to connect with me, and you can make an appointment. So just send me a text or contact me in some other format, and you and I will set up a time that works, that we can connect. So that's all of that. And then I want to go over the grading, which I have right at the top of the syllabus, because it's, I think it's always really important to know how your grade is assessed. So this has it right here. So 60% of the grade is from the papers, the essays, right? So 60% is from that. So that means that it is really, really important to get the essays in. If you got a 0 on a paper because you didn't turn it in, then that really wreaks havoc with your grade, and it can even cause you not to pass the class. In fact, often it would cause you not to pass the class. So it's really important to get the papers in. I do give you the chance to revise a paper once you have turned it in. And in fact, I tend to give lots of notes. So you will know what to do to revise your paper. And so once you revise it, you have the opportunity to get all of your points back, actually, unless you turned it in late, and then there would be late points, and those late points would stay. But other than that, you have the opportunity to get all your points back. I'll talk about the late points a little bit later in the video. But I want to talk about the next category is homework And so in class, meaning in class in this format. But homework is 20% of the grade. And I think human nature, sometimes we say, oh, 20%. Well, that's not too much. I don't need to worry about that so much. But you do, because 20% may not sound significant, but it actually is. I've seen where folks didn't do maybe a lot of homework, even if they did half. Half the amount of homework would actually be a failing grade in that category. That leaves you with like a 50% in that category. That can kick you down an entire grade. Even if you're getting A's on your papers, you are highly unlikely to get an A in the class if you're not doing the homework. It's not usually too hard to do. But you just really need to do it I mean, the goal is just to get 100% in that, and that can be a real boost, to just keeping all these categories full and enable you to be successful. So then there's a presentation, which is part of your final paper. It's graded separately, but it is on the same topic as the final paper that is at the end of the semester. That's 10% of your overall grade. And again, we might be tempted to think, oh, 10%, oh, I don't know, I don't like presentations, right? But again, you want to get a good grade in that category because I mean, honestly, I wouldn't everyone like to, just do their best and get an A? That would be super awesome, right? So you can't really do that if you're not doing if you're not doing all the categories, right? So you don't want to be doing really well in the class, not get a 0 in one category, and then it bumps you down a grade level, or even 2, depending on where your numbers are in the other categories. So, and the good news is, here's a pandemic silver lining, that the good news is that for this format, the presentation, you're going to do in either Google Slides or PowerPoint or an original YouTube video that you create. The only person in the class that's going to be viewing your presentation is me. So you don't, this is an asynchronous class. We're not Zooming. So I will be viewing your presentation. So if you're feeling shy, it's just me seeing it. So that's kind of, as a student, I used to kind of stress out about presentations, believe it or not. So there's a little silver lining. So anyway, really important to get that 10% in though, and it's a good exercise. All right, so then the quizzes are 10% of your overall grade. We will be quizzed on, I have a series of documentaries that we will be watching. I'll talk about those in a little bit, but they're on the subject of education, of educational reform in different formats. You'll be quizzed on those documentaries, as well as on some of the concepts that we are going to cover in the class, such as inductive reasoning, inductive and deductive reasoning, logical fallacies, and such. So the quizzes are in the reading and assignment schedule, so you'll know when they are. They are timed and they are closed book. But I will post a study guide a week before the quiz so that you will have the chance to look over the study guide, study from it, and which I hope will help you to be successful. The regular quiz questions I take right from the study guide. So for example, the study guide tends to have about 10 questions on it normally. My quizzes are always 4 questions and a bonus question. The 4 questions I take directly from the study guide. The bonus question could come from the study guide, or it could come from a more specific question about the documentaries or about one of the concepts, because it's bonus. All right, so that is how your grade is overall comprised. And again, the goal really is to keep all those categories full. I mean, just to really, you don't want to neglect any of them, because again, that can cause you to not be successful, and I really want you to be successful. All right, so let's now look at, I'm going to just have you guys look on your own at the rationale and the student learning outcomes. I think you can peruse that at your own pace. And I don't want to put everybody to sleep in the first video. Oh, she's still talking. I have to wake up now. So at any rate, so I'm going to condense this a little bit. All right, so format and procedures, including the policy for late work. So I'm going to go over that. We're on the bottom of the first page. It says students will be responsible for turning in assigned work into Canvas, the submission box, by the due date. Really, really important. So you do need to get the work in by the due date. I give a grace period on the homework and the essays of 1 week. I do take points off for the essays when they are beyond the due date. So even if it's a day late, it's going to accrue late points, which are 10 points. But it is better to get it in and get 10 points off than to get a 0, which will just wreck your grade, honestly. So I don't need any reason for why you're using the grace period. You don't need to tell me that. I just, things happen. But that's the good news. The maybe not so good news, I don't know, is that you have to get it in by that grace period. You have to get it in before the assignment locks. So you'll have that date on there and in Canvas, and because once the assignment is locked, it's done. I cannot take any more. I need everyone to be on the same page. It's really not fair to have some students staying up all night or just scrambling around, just trying to get in by the deadline. And then if I were to open the assignment up for another student, that's just not really fair. So we're all going to be on the same page, on the same journey here. So you've got to get it in before that assignment locks. Once it's locked, it's locked. All right. So that is the challenge in that. The final paper I do not give a grace period on the final paper. I can't give a grace period on the final paper. I cannot for any reason take the final paper late. I have to get all of the grading done and the grades submitted, and I have a deadline with that. So I have to hold up my end on keeping, my commitments to get the deadline in. And I need, so I just, we just don't have enough time for a grace period on the final paper. So that one is really firm. You really have to get that in by the due date with no grace period. In addition to that, I do not do makeup quizzes. So you do the quiz again will be on, they're all on Fridays, unless there is some unusual situation that I have to have it on a different day in which I would post that. But they are all scheduled on Fridays, and you've got to take it when that's happening. It's posted, it's in the syllabus. You'll know when they are. You know when they are now, I guess, if you look through there. So you've got to just keep up with that. So I don't do makeup quizzes for any reason. However, there is a caveat for that. If you get the extra credit, the bonus, that actually can build your quiz extra credit bank, so that in case you did need to miss a quiz, those extra credit points can really help you to make up for that. So always try the bonus. In fact, try all questions, even if you're not sure, because I do give partial credit. All right, so there is that. That's the late work policy. So I'm going to flip the page, and the very top of the second page, it talks about how essential attendance is. So you might say, wow, you just said this isn't Zoom, so how's she going to take attendance? So that's a great question. But what that means in this asynchronous format is that you do need to log in. You need to be doing that every week, because if you were to miss even a week, you've missed a lot. So you've got to sort of just keep that up, right? And so if you were to actually not log in for 2 weeks, you can be dropped from the class. Missing 2 weeks of class is missing a lot. And at that point, you are in jeopardy of not passing. So you may be dropped from the class if that were to happen, all right? So you want to just keep up. If there is a unique circumstance, please do let me know, what's going on. But basically, you need to keep up with that. All right, and then, so let's see. At a certain point in the semester, though, after the drop date, I can't drop you either. And so then if you were not logging on, it's kind of midway through the semester or slightly earlier than that, it could cause you to fail the class because you're missing so many assignments and everything, all right? All right, so don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Just keep the momentum. I know this is a really challenging time, but just every week just kind of keep chugging along with it. All right, so assignments. This goes over the essays. I'm not going to read through this in detail because, again, that would take a really lengthy time. I'll let you read through this in detail, but I'll just give you an overview of the papers. There are 4 papers. They're all argument papers in this class. So this is a critical thinking class. So we are going to exercise and enhance our critical thinking skills. In the format, one way is that we are going to be writing argument papers in a very logical way to convince someone, the reader, of our idea according to the topic. All right. So the first, so all of the papers, with the exception of the final, which is a research paper, are 3 to 5 pages. The research paper is 5 to 7 pages, which is the final paper of the semester. It's longer because you need that time and space to incorporate your research. But here's some good news. You can get some extra credit on the papers by turning any of the papers into a research paper. So, for example, if you were to turn the first paper into a research paper, and it's all here in the syllabus, you can read the specific details on this, you could actually turn it into a research paper by making it 5 to 7 pages instead of 3 to 5, by using at least 3 college academic sources, correctly citing your sources, MLA style, parenthetically, and in the works cited, smoothly incorporating your quotes so that they clearly support your thesis, setting up your quote. I'll go into all this before we really go into the papers. It's just an overview. But if you did all that, you can actually get 7 points extra credit, up to 7 points extra credit on the paper. So if it goes really well, 7 points. If you did some of it and you still need some improvement on that, 3.5 points, etc. I mean, so that's a great way to earn some extra credit points on your papers, which is the paper category, which is 60% of your grade. So that's a great way to get some extra points. And it's also a great way to prepare for the research paper. So by the time you get there, you're feeling really comfortable with with citing sources and incorporating research, things like that. All right, so the first paper is on the topic of the right to privacy for children and youth. So I have a mini prompt in the syllabus for each paper, and then as it gets closer to, I will also post a prompt for a regular longer prompt for each paper. And we will go over the paper before it's due. Normally 2 weeks before is when I give you more of an overview of it via video. But you can start, you're going to know all the topics just from looking at the syllabus, so you can start thinking about them. So just kind of read through that. That's the first one. The second one is on social media, the positives and or negatives of social media. I've given you some possible ways to focus that, even in the mini prompt, so you can peruse that. That's my new favorite word for today. I just realized that, peruse. All right. So, and then we go into the documentary response. So this paper is the third paper. So what that is about is, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to be watching some documentaries in this class that are all different aspects of education and educational reform. And I'm really excited about these documentaries. I really, really love them. So you will write a paper for this, responding to one of the documentaries and having an idea about a particular issue that was presented in that film. So I'll mention now as well, since I'm on the topic of the documentaries, that there is no textbook for this class. You don't have to buy a textbook. There is no textbook. I am doing I'm using the documentaries, and then I'm giving you information via video and the overall lectures and things like that on the concepts, but you don't have to buy a textbook. So I know these classes can be very expensive, the textbooks can be very expensive, so I thought that this would be a good method to get you the information, enhance your critical thinking skills, and your writing skills, and also save you a little money. So there is one film. It's actually an episode of a TV show that's connected to one of the films that we're watching. There is a cost for that, and it's $1.99. So unless something changes slightly, but it hasn't changed in the past couple semesters. And when I looked at it getting ready for the class, all the documentaries are still free, with the exception of this one episode that you'll pay $1.99 for. So that is your textbook cost, is $1.99. So that's not too bad. So there's another silver lining. There you go. All right, so the documentary response, so you can look more on the details of that. And then the final paper, the research paper, is what that one is about is called photo analysis. So you will choose a historical photo and you will um, have an idea about something that's presented in that photo, an issue about the photo. You'll be analyzing the photo itself. As far as what you are viewing in the photo, and you'll be using research to support your ideas. And we'll be doing some exercises to get ready for that. So that's the research paper. All right. So then the presentation would also be on the topic of that photo analysis. All right. So again, you can look through more of the details there. I'm going to flip the page. The next one is the quizzes. Again, the quizzes will be on the documentaries and a couple of the concepts that we're going over. And again, there are no makeup quizzes, so you do have to, just keep up and show up to. I mean, you just have to show up online, of course, to take the quiz. All right. So, and then I already talked about the homework, already talked about some extra credit. There will be some other likely extra credit assignments that can come up from time to time. So, and if they do, they are optional. You do not have to do them if you're feeling overwhelmed, but if you can, they can be a way to boost your grade and enhance your skills at the same time. So just watch for those. The next section is called academic integrity. So I'm just going to read through here a little bit. It's that's a very important issue. It says any work submitted by a student in this course for academic credit will be the student's own work. So really, really important issue that does involve if you are using something from a source that is not your head, really, you need to cite it. So I'm smiling, but it's very serious. So you need to cite it because you need to give credit to that person that had the idea. To not do so is considered to be intellectual theft. Very, very serious issue. So you must give credit to whoever said that or had that idea. So very important to do that. In addition, I know that this is a rather stressful time, and sometimes people get really pressed for time and stressed out. And the internet can be very tempting, right? So it's just kind of looming there, tempting us. But we can't be so tempted and so stressed out that we are going on the internet and then presenting ideas as if they are our own. So, for example, go and find an article and it's kind of saying something about the topic, and then if you were to take that article, put your own name on it and present that as if that were your paper or those were your ideas, or cutting and splicing things so it's sort of a compilation of different internet sources instead of your own ideas, and they're presented as your ideas, that is plagiarism. That is really serious. Even in addition to that, if you are working with someone else and you're copying from each other, or you have the exact same or extremely similar quiz answers as someone else, that's plagiarism. So very serious issue. What that gets is a 0 on the assignment, which can, if that's your paper, that can cause you to fail the class. So that is not the good way to go. In addition to the 0 and possibly failing the class, you can actually, likely, you will be talking to an official from Napa Valley College, usually a vice president. They will have an interview and a hearing with you to decide if you get to stay at Napa Valley College. You can actually be expelled for that. It's an ethics violation. They can also give you an ethics violation on your permanent record, which is just a situation nobody wants. Where that really comes into play is if you are say you're going into criminal justice and you want to apply at some point to the FBI or the CIA or an intelligence organization. They do check for ethics violations, and that would be a sad state of affairs that you're actually jeopardizing your future. So you don't want that. Some colleges and universities do look at that, especially those that are like religious or private institutions. Often look at ethics violations. You don't want to deal with all that. What a horrible situation to be in, right? So it's better to just make sure it's your own work, and it's better to get an honest C, honestly, than to go this treacherous route. So that was the very serious part, but I really needed to say this because it's a difficult situation with that, and it has profound effects that you do not want to have. So avoid that. And of course, if you have questions about, we're going to go over citing sources. I don't mean to say that if you made a sincere attempt to cite a source and you were just slightly off of the correct MLA way to do that, that's going to equal a 0. No, that would just mean that you need to make that correction if you're revising your paper. There's a difference there, but you still want to be very careful about this. All right, so let's move on to the next section, which says accommodations for students with disabilities. So if you have any disability that it could impact your learning, you do want to contact the Disability Service Program at Napa Valley College, which has, they're online now, and they're great. They're so helpful. They have really good resources, great people there. And so that's a great, great program. And they would have they have some special paperwork that you can give to me so that I know how to best support your learning. All right. So, and of course, don't hesitate to talk to me if you're having trouble figuring out how to connect with them or anything like that. Just, let me know. All right. So there's that. And okay, next is the reading and assignment schedule. So I have it all by week. And the first assignment is to just introduce yourself and connect with a couple other classmates. You can read the directions on the assignment, and to start watching the first documentary is next, which is 180 Days in an American High School DC Met. I'm so excited about this documentary. It's our longest one, so it's a bit lengthy, but well worth it. It was a PBS documentary that won several awards. And it's just fantastic. It looks at a continuation school in Washington, D.C. that's going through this educational reform and some of the ups and downs that they go through. They do a close look at some of the students, some of the faculty and staff members and things like that. And I just love this film. And as we do go through the semester and we're watching the films, kind of keep in mind, is this the one I want to write about for paper number 3, right? So each of the films you will be doing a response as a homework assignment to, so you might want to take some notes on the film. That can help you, I think, to formulate your response, just to take some notes and things. So, all right, so there's that. And so I'll just point out the assignments tend to be listed on this side. I don't know how it's going to turn out. One side tends to be very heavy on the assignments because the reason for that is all the assignments are due on Fridays at 11:59 p.m. unless something comes up that I need to change that. So, which might be at the end of the semester, or something takes longer than planned, that can happen, and I would post that difference, but otherwise they're due on Fridays. So that's why they're all kind of in one column except a few, and that just means I need to give you some more information about something that we're doing, but otherwise it's really this column. I just needed to kind of format this for this new format that we're doing. So it's all week by week, and the quizzes are listed on there too. So you can plan, and all the, spring break is listed on there, and all of that, right? Everything. So final exam, the week is listed on there, but I'm not giving an exam per se. You'll just have your quizzes in the quiz section. Your final is your final paper. All right, so there is that. So I just wanted to kind of go over, just give you that overview of the semester and for the syllabus, so that you kind of, I think it can be helpful to have someone clarifying it rather than to sit down with your document by yourself, which sounds kind of, I don't know. We're all doing that sort of thing, but I thought maybe it might be helpful to clarify a little bit. And I wanted to do what I could to personally, via video at least, welcome you to the class, and just to let you know that I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so excited that we're all here, even in this format. I wish we could be in person. Hopefully, vaccines or whatever, we'll get there, right? But at any rate, welcome, and so let's have a great semester.